then when you're ready, we will take our legs nice and wide. Actually, we're gonna turn them out to start. We're gonna sweep our arms up nice and high. And come into like a shallow sumo and bring it up. So you don't have to go too deep yet. Just start warming up those legs and those hips. Then as you get warmer, start getting deeper into your sumo squat. Focus on really squeezing your glutes, tucking your pelvis underneath, and keeping your chest lifted. So shoulders down, away from the ears. Beautiful. Keep it going. Awesome. And getting deeper now into that sumo squat. Good. Try to keep your arms straight until the top. Beautiful. Lovely. Let's do 2 more. The last one. Keep. Actually, let's do it. The lady who's supposed to be joining us just sent me a message. Sorry, now I gotta check. You're gonna fold it forward, legs straight. Come into a nice fold as I figure out what's happening. I'm on. No, you're not. Strange. Reach to the right. And reach to the left. There she is. All right, beautiful. Everybody's here. Awesome. Gently come to center. Let's tuck the hips, tuck the chin, and roll it up nice and slow.
Okay.
Hello, Brenda. Just mute yourself for me, please. We're going to take ourselves long ways on our mat so we can step back and still be on our mat. We're going to sweep our arms up, and then as we sweep down, we're going to squat down so legs are wide, hips drop back, hands between the legs. Step one leg back, nice and far. So far back that the knee of the opposite leg is still over the ankle. Then we're going to take the inside arm up, so we're twisting towards our front leg. And then we'll sweep the arm back in and step forward into that squat. So drop your butt, sweep your arms up, sweep your arms down, squat down and switch the legs. So now step back with the other leg. Big, big step back, knee over the ankle, reaching up inside arm. Bring it down, let's step forward again, bring it up. Sweep down, opposite leg. So we're alternating every time the leg, reaching up for a twist, reaching back down, squatting forward, sweeping both arms up from your squat. Glutes active, squat down, switch the leg again. Continuously going side to side. Beautiful. Moving at your own pace. So if you're slower than us, that's cool. Just keep flowing through and focus on a big squat. That way, you're sinking back into the glutes, warming up as we stretch it out. Front knee over the ankle in our twist. Squatting in, pressing through your hands as you're stepping in and back so that your hands can help take some of the weight off your single leg as you step back with the other one. So use your upper body as much as you can. We're going to do 1 more per side. So get yourself even. And once you finish side number 2, you're going to come into a forward fold with your legs closer together. So as close together as you can get at this point in your practice. So you can keep facing that same direction, but feet are closer together. Flat the back, slide down, and then tuck your chin. And release. Dropping your head down, shake your head no. Nod yes. And neutral spine. From here, we're gonna bend our knees, slowly roll it up. One vertebrae at a time. You're gonna step out big with your legs again. Awesome job, ladies. Let's take our arms shoulder height when you're ready. Inhale, slide to the right, side bend. So you're lengthening this top side as you lean to the right. You're gonna come into a flat back, so you're reaching to the corner over the right leg. You can support yourself by pushing onto your right thigh with your forearm, or the right arm can be on your lower back. Reach down to the right leg. Come to center. Bend your knees, slowly roll it up. Bring it out. Slide left. Side bend. Micro bend in those knees. Squeeze your thighs. Keep your chest up. Flat back, reaching to the corner of the room to the left. Micro bend in your knees, especially that left one. Lifting your tailbone. Hold it over your left leg. Bring it center. From here, we're going to take our hands, or keep our hands on the floor. We're going to look up so we can kind of see in the video or on the screen. That way you're trying to flatten out your back. We're going to turn our toes out, and then we're going to sink into a squat or a sumo and press up. So turning out of those hips, I want you to focus on sinking into it so your butt comes down in line with your knees if possible. And you're sinking back into this squat. So if I show you from the side, focus on your bum going backwards and your knees staying over your toes and ankles rather than your knees pressing forward. You want those knees to stay over and the butt to go back. That way you're warming up the glutes, keeping the knees protected. Moving through at your own pace, you're still going up and down. 2 more. Last one. Now on this next one, let's hold it down and lift our elbows to our knees, pushing our knees open with the elbows as much as we can. Shoulders squeezing together, chest is lifted, legs are on fire. Things are great. Let's press into the left and look over the right shoulder. And come to center, and we will switch sides. Center. And now we're going to push into our elbows with our knees. So now you're going to try to actively close your legs against your elbows as you push your elbows open. We're squeezing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Keep squeezing. 2. Release the squeeze. Hold the position. And breathe. Try to relax into the stretch. Keep your back flat, shoulders squeezing, chest forward. And then we're going to slowly lift our hips and drop our head. We're going to bend our knees and slowly roll it up the rest of the way, taking your time and standing up tall. We'll take our feet closer together, and we're going to find our balance because we're going to work a quad stretch from standing up. So if you need to, use a wall as well to help you balance. There's nothing wrong with that. Otherwise, we're going to grab one foot, pull the heel into our bum. We're going to try to bring the knees together. So make sure your knee's not out here. We're pulling them together. And if you can, keep them in line this way as well. Try not to let the knee pull forward. If you can, you're trying to pull it behind the other leg as you tuck the pelvis under. Both hands, if you have the stability, squeeze your core, tuck your pelvis. So no arching in your lower back. Finding your balance. And gently release and step down, and we will switch legs. So when you're ready, Pull the opposite leg up, knees together, tuck the pelvis under, so make sure you're not arching your lower back. You're tucking that pelvis and then pulling the knee back from there. That way you're getting the deepest stretch in your quad. Knees together as much as possible. Finding the balance. Try to stare at something that's not moving, and that will help. And release. Good. From here, we're going to balance on the first leg again. Take the opposite leg out and just circle out the ankle. Squeeze the quad here as your leg is lifted. Circle it the other way. Good. And release, and we will switch. Take it out, circle it, squeeze the quad of that leg that's extended. And other side. Arms can help you balance too. Bring it down. We're going to come back to our quad stretch. I'm going to turn sideways for this one. Now I want you to grab the foot from the inside with your thumb up. Okay, from here, you can, if you feel this progression is too much for you today, you can always go back to our first quad stretch. Otherwise, we're going to push the foot, into the hand, lift the leg up as we reach the opposite arm forward and tip forward. Okay, so you want to drop your chest in order to lift your back leg. Okay, you're holding it as long as you can. Now notice, if you want, I can also use the wall to help me get deeper into this without feeling like I'm going to fall over. As long as I still reach my arm forward and pretend like I'm doing the full move, and then eventually I can try releasing the wall. Try to come back with control. Don't fall out of it. Engage and step down. When you're ready, let's gently release. Shake it out, and we're going to do the other leg. Okay, so same thing, or reiterating, the more you tip, the higher you can get your leg, especially if you live in a not as flexible body. Eventually you won't have to tip so far forward. The more you practice this, the more it will develop. Palm facing out, thumb is up. Grab the foot. Again, the wall is there if you need to. Otherwise, you reach the arm forward first, tip, engage the core and through that bottom leg, lift the opposite leg, and then push that leg into your hand. So you're actively pushing your leg away by squeezing your butt. Your quad would be also on fire. And if you need to, remember the wall is there. We're holding. If you fall out, it's all good. Come back in. Engage your core. Use your toes on the floor to help you. Woo! Almost there. And again, challenge yourself to come back without falling. Pulling it back in with control, engaging through the core and the ankles to step down. Great job, guys. Let's grab a quick sip of water before we move on. Because I am out of breath and I need some. If your ankles are hurting, feel free to also push the ankles forward, curling the toe under, back and forth. This will just help stretch out the ankles from that stretch or from that balance that we did. Amazing. From here, we will come back. Just gonna look at my time, make sure I stay on track. Cool. When you're ready, let's take our legs now nice and low on our mat. We're gonna pull our pants up. We have our pants going off as always. We're gonna slide it back down all the way to the ankles. Toes forward. And then reach again towards that right leg, pulling in with both arms. And try to lean the weight forward into your toes rather than leaning back on your heels. Few deep breaths here, finding stillness, breathing through it. Let's switch legs. Pull yourself in with both arms as much as you can. Micro bend in your knees. You can flex your thighs to help you relax your hamstrings. Few more deep breaths. Beautiful. Let's bring it to center. Shake your head no. And nod yes. And neutral spine. We will turn it to one direction just so you can come into a downward dog. So it's really up to you which way you're facing here, but downward dog is where we are meeting. You're gonna pedal out your feet. Try to press your face toward your toes through your arms. You're looking at your feet and you're lifting your tailbone up. So the goal is to arch almost your lower back, squeezing your shoulder blades together. Imagine there's a pencil between your shoulder blades. Imagine you're squeezing a ball between your elbows to help you activate also your chest. So the more you activate through those elbows and arms, the more you'll support your shoulders and back. Now find stillness. Press both heels down as much as possible. If they reach the floor or not is not the point. The point is that your lower back is flat and your back is flat. If your feet are down but you're rounded, I need you to bend your knees, then lift your tailbone and push through your hands to flatten your back so that you will get a deeper stretch. Then from this place, you can eventually try to straighten your legs more, but it's about keeping the back flat while you do that. From here, we are going to take the left leg to the middle. Let's take, hang on, the front leg. So whatever leg is pointing at your camera right now. Okay, we'll change directions after. Front leg stays in the middle. Back leg is going to lift and tap. Lift and tap. Lift and tap. Your lift comes from your butt. You're squeezing your glute. Last one here. Hold at the top. Squeeze the butt cheeks. Squeeze the thigh on your bottom leg as you try to press the leg straight. So your bottom leg is getting a stretch in the back of the leg. Your top leg is working, but that's okay. Press your face towards your foot. Hold for 3, 2. Now the top leg is going to step forward by your hands to the outside of your hands. And just adjust your feet for a moment. Find your balance. Your feet don't have to be too narrow. It can be like one foot at the edge of the mat, other foot at the other edge. That way you have a wide stance. And slowly make your way up to a high lunge. I forgot what this was called. Okay, squeeze the butt cheek of the back leg. Press into the heel of the front leg. Lean back. Okay, so you're not here. You'll lose a lot of your stretch here because your chest is just in the wrong place. So if anything, you're pushing against your leg and leaning back. I like to have my hands on my lower back here because then it reminds me I need to go back this way. It also supports my lower back because sometimes my abs get lazy. But that said, let's engage the core. Tuck the pelvis under. Rather than super arch, tuck pelvis, you'll get a deeper stretch in this hip flexor. Okay, we're just trying to keep the back leg straight. I'm talking your ear off so you don't feel the pain in your legs. If you don't feel anything, let's go deeper. Knee in line with the hip as much as possible. Whatever leg is back, you're going to take that arm up, lean back. I'm reaching forward with my opposite arm just to help me balance. Then you're going to tip away from your back leg. So you're doing a side bend toward the front leg side, that direction. Does that make sense? And gently bring it back. Now you're going to take that hand to the floor and we're going to come into our twist. So front knee is still bent at that 90 degrees. Now your ass is probably on fire. And that's what I wanted. Left hand up high, or inside hand. Now switch the hand, bring it to the inside of your leg. Opposite arm goes up. Hips are still low. We have a tendency of doing this. Get down into that leg. Your knee is still bent in that 90 degree. You can do it. We're breathing. Bring it down. Now you're going to turn to face forward. So your knee is still bent. If you need a break, shake it out. Come back. Sink your hips back so you're in a flat back. Your knee is in line with your hips and your leg is on fire. Use your arms to help support you. I also shove my elbow under this leg to help get some of the weight off my leg so I can get deeper. You choose how you get there, but you're not sinking all the way down to the floor. Just remember your legs are still burning and they're on fire. The more you don't use your arms, the deeper you will get quicker. into your stretches. So also challenge yourself not to modify too much. Squeeze the thigh on this leg. My legs are on fire too, I promise. Squeeze, 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 3, 2. Let's press it all the way up. And breathe. Great job, guys. Take a little moment. Okay, we're gonna go back to that leg, into our side lunge, and now we're gonna sink back toward our heel and try to sink down. The straight leg will slide in, and your back is trying to flatten out. So our goal is to flex this foot, toe up, kneecap and toe point up. Back is flat, bent leg is on the outside of your shoulder, so your hips are open. Palms are together, or palms can hold the floor to help you from falling backwards. Whatever feels best. From here, we're breathing because things are on fire. We're gonna come back to center, press it all the way up. We're gonna turn back toward that leg for a triangle pose. So now your toes are in line with your mat. Your back foot can actually be slightly turned out. I'm falling over. From here, you're gonna come up into your triangle. So press on your thigh above your knee, back flat, shoulders down away from the ears, and you have a micro bend in this knee, so it's still kind of soft. Flex this thigh, engage the kneecap, and that will help relax the back of your leg. We're breathing here and embracing the lovely pain and burn of the stretch. Okay, you should feel it in the back of the leg. The flatter your back, the deeper you're gonna feel it. Take your front hand to the floor and you're gonna twist towards your front leg. Reaching the hand up, squeezing the shoulders. Keep both heels on the floor, so both feet are flat on the ground, please. And squeezing your shoulders to help you open the chest. Keep flexing the thigh on your front leg. Gently bring it down. And you can either come to the floor or to the ankle. And now you'll take the inside arm up. Still have a micro bend in your knee. That way you are protecting your joints. If it feels okay, look all the way up to your hand. There's a lamp right over me, so I'm just gonna hide that. Breathing. Micro bend in your straight front leg. Bring it forward. Bend that front knee. And we're gonna step back to downward dog. Pedal out your feet. One at a time. Beautiful. And from here, that same leg is gonna go back up. And then you're gonna open the hip and bend the knee like you're peeing on a fire hydrant. Okay, you're keeping your chest square even though you're trying to open your hip and belly button to the side. So if your left leg is up, make sure your left shoulder stays dropped down. And vice versa, if your right leg is up, make sure the right shoulder stays down. Then you're gonna pull your left knee into a pigeon. You're gonna bring it across as much as you can, sinking into that pigeon. So your back leg, ideally the knees on the ground, all 5 toes of the back foot are touching the floor. Front foot is flexed. The heel can be into the groin, or ideally, eventually, it will be at a 90-degree. Heel in line with that knee. Don't rush though, listen to your body. Try to keep your back flat here. So I'm pushing through my arms ever so slightly and engaging my back muscles so that I don't fall forward. Okay, squeeze your bum, squeeze your back. Try to keep the weight over your leg, over your butt, so that way you'll get assistance from gravity to sink down. Breathing. And then on your next exhale, you can fold it over if that feels comfortable, either to your elbows or all the way to the floor. From here, we're gonna bring it up. We're gonna curl the back foot under one more time to step back into downward dog and release that back leg. From here, we will step that back leg forward so that we can turn forward again into a fold. and we will fold. Reach towards one leg. Reach towards the other leg. Come center. Bend the knees and roll it up slowly. We'll grab a quick sip of water before we move on to the other leg. My legs feel like jello. Also, I feel lopsided. Remember, this is your practice. If you need to take breaks at any point during any of the sequences, please do. Just here to guide you. All right. We're going to come back into our wide leg fold. And we're going to do another fold, reaching side to side. When you're ready, slide in. Reach towards one side. Reach towards the other side. And then from here, we're going to turn into a narrow fold in the other direction so that when we do our downward dog, we're facing the other way. So step into that fold. So now you're on the other side of your mat, or if you were facing me the whole time, obviously you're still stepping just forward. This is just if your mat is parallel to the camera like mine is, so that you can turn to face me in your side lunge. From here, we're going to step our feet back to downward dog. We're going to pedal it out for a few deep breaths, pushing your face towards your feet. Elbows squeezing together like there's an imaginary ball there, and you're trying to smoosh it or just hold it in place. Shoulder blades squeezing together as well. Now you're going to take the front leg or the opposite leg that you did, place it in the center, and we're going to lift and tap. So we're squeezing the glute of the leg we're lifting and keeping that leg nice and extended as well. So it's almost trying to lift it out of our hip socket or rip it out of our hip socket. Last one, lift and hold. Squeezing the glute, keeping it as high as you can. Now you're pressing the foot of the opposite leg down and trying to straighten the leg. So that way the bottom leg gets the stretch. Doing amazing. Breathing. Squeezing through the shoulder blades. Now we're going to step our right leg forward, or the top leg, sorry. It's my right leg, your top leg. And step it in line with your hands. Finding your balance. Widen your stance if you feel wobbly. And then gently make your hands come up to your knee and lift your chest. I'm just going to shimmy backwards so that my pole's not in the middle of my eyesight. Okay, your knee is directly over your foot. Forgot the name of that. If you have something near you to help you balance, guys, please use it. There's no shame in that if you need the help. Back leg is squeezing at the glute. So you're squeezing your butt cheek, pressing the heel into the front, pressing into the front heel to activate the hamstring on that front leg. And we're just trying to sink down as low as we can. Remember, we're trying to keep the chest directly over the hips, because again, this will help gravity push us down further, faster. If we're modifying or leaning forward, we're losing a part of that stretch. I also want you to tuck your pelvis under. That way you're getting deep into that hamstring or that hip, and you're trying to straighten out that back leg. Sink into that front knee, because sometimes when we adjust, we come up. Hands to the back, lean back. I know things are burning. Trying to talk your ear off like I did on the other side. You're doing amazing. Press into the heel of your front foot. Now, take that hand of the back leg up, and you're going to lean back as much as you can. Breathing deeply, and then side bend towards the opposite direction. Breathing through it. Press into that heel. Your butt should be burning. There's nothing wrong with that. Now bring that hand down to the floor, and opposite hand up. If your feet slid apart, just adjust them again, and then bring yourself into the stretch. Slowly take the inside hand down to the inside of the foot, and we'll switch the arms. So you're trying to stack the hands in a straight line, and if you can, look up towards that top hand. Back legs is nice and straight, and you're trying to keep your hips low. Let's take it down. From here, we're turning to face forward, and the burn will begin. You're still bending into that same leg. Elbow can come under the thigh if you need some help. Engage this thigh, straight thigh, flex it the whole time. Bum is sinking back so that your heel is still under your knee on the bed side. Okay, your heel is flat on the floor. There should be no lifting heels. All the things are flat. We're breathing, we're holding. The more you don't assist yourself with that elbow though, the deeper you're gonna get faster, because the warmer you're gonna be and the more you're priming your muscles. Let's rest, come to center. Whew. Take a deep breath. And then we're gonna go back to that side. Now we're gonna try to sink the booty to the heel, flex the other leg, foot, and slide it in. Knee and toe point up. The bent knee is behind your shoulder, so the hips are open. Chest is lifted as much as possible, so you're looking up at the camera, or forward if you're not looking directly at the camera because you're sideways, or hands can be by the palm, or palms can be at the chest, or hands can be reaching forward to help you balance. We're breathing, we're burning, and it's fantastic. Let's bring it up center. Awesome. From here, we're gonna turn into our triangle position. So here now, your back foot can be slightly turned out. Front leg is parallel with the edges of the mat, and you're going to come up onto the thigh, pressing into your thigh above your knee. Back is flat, the leg is soft, so notice how I can still wiggle it around because I'm not locking it out. I want to lift my tailbone and flatten my back though, so if you have to come higher for that to happen, that's fine. I'd rather you be here. You can hold something in front of you, like assist yourself as needed, but back flat. Deepest part of the stretch will be right where your hamstring meets your butt. Now we're breathing, things are burning, but it's good, right? Now our outside hand will come to the floor first, and then our inside hand will come up. Try to look up to that top hand if it feels okay. Keep a micro bend in your front knee. Keep both heels on the floor. Now bring that hand down, either to the floor or your ankle. And then turn it open. Micro bend still in the front knee. Reaching that hand over the other, so arms are in a straight line. And you're trying to look up to that hand if it feels okay. Squeezing the thigh or flexing the knee of your front leg to help you keep relaxing into your hamstring. And from here, we'll bring it down. We're gonna bend our front knee and step our leg back into our downward dog. Pedaling out the feet. Ears between your biceps, tailbone lifted nice and high. And from here, we're gonna take the same leg up again. Now we're gonna open the hip and bend the knee, fire hydrant style. Keeping your shoulders square to the floor though. So as you open your hip and belly button to the side, keep the shoulder pointing or dropping down, turning down. That way the twist comes from your hips. Inhale and gently bring that knee forward for a pigeon. Flexing the foot as you place it down. Sliding into position. Back knee pointing at the floor. All 5 toes are on the ground. Okay, so avoid turning onto the side of your knee because you're losing 85% of your stretch. Rotate everything square. Bring your body on top of the hips. Block some things to help you balance. If you can't reach the floor, that's fine. But I want you to focus on squeezing the butt cheek of the back leg and your back muscles to help you stay up over the leg without your hands. You're also squeezing the legs here to help you balance, but your back is holding the chest from dropping to the ground. Hands can always be on the ground, but remember the chest over the hips means gravity is helping you more to get deeper into that stretch. Inhale. Exhale, elbows to the ground or forehead to the ground. And breathe. Gently come up to your hands. We're going to curl that back foot underneath so that we can step back and pedal out the feet, stretching out the back of that knee, which has got a little bit of compression. And then you're going to walk your hands back towards your feet. Feet are as close as you would like, and you're going to fold it over. If it feels okay, grab your ankles and try to pull your face towards your shins, so that way you're working your balance as well. Lean the weight forward into the balls of your feet. And then gently bend the knees, slowly roll it up. One vertebrae at a time. Let's grab a sip of water before we move on. I'm gonna check out the time also. Awesome. Oh my jello legs. How we doing? Thumbs up, we doing good? Yeah. My legs are on fire. Great job, my loves. All right. From here, we are going to come to our knees. So if you need to, at any point during this sequence, to adjust your mat and like fold it up and stuff, that's cool. We're going to work on some side or on some half frogs. I can't speak. Half frogs, which means we're going to be on the knees and on the ground. So when you're ready, just come on down as gently and comfortably as you can. And if you need to, because you're old like me, really, we're not old, it's our bodies that don't love us sometimes, you're going to fold the mat over. Okay, and put the knee that's bent on that folded side. You can always quadruple fold so you have extra. If you want to get deeper into this, also make sure your straight leg is on something slippery or on the floor and you have a sock on or something. Otherwise, use the mat as resistance. Now, both feet are going to be flexed, so you should be able to see that foot if you're looking in a mirror or looking at your camera. And this foot is also flexed. So you're on the inner ridge, big toe ridge side of both feet. And your knees slash leg are in line with your hip. So in line with the hip here and in line with the hip out that way. Make sure you're not pushing forward or pushing back with your hips too much. If it feels all right, you'll drop to your elbows. Otherwise, stay on your hands. Use a block if you need it. Now you're going to tuck your pelvis and arch your back. So from this position, I want you to focus on curling the hips under, lifting your butt. Curling the hips under, lifting your butt. Okay, we're going to do 10. Inhale, tuck it under as you exhale. Inhale, lift, exhale, tuck. Inhale, lift, exhale, tuck. Inhale, lift, exhale, tuck. Inhale, lift, exhale, tuck. Move slower if you need to. Flex both feet, keep the leg that's straight active. Flex that knee. Last one under, and hold it under now. And you're going to actively squeeze your legs to close against the ground. So now we're trying to clamp our legs closed, holding for 10, 9, 8, 7. Try to keep your back flat here, so don't round your back. Keep your shoulder blades squeezing and flat like you're in a plank. Now release the squeezing of your legs and just hold. Try to let the leg that's straight slide out a bit. Or just try not to cringe. Breathe. Embrace the discomfort. If you're in pain, come out of it a little bit. Or rest. Come out entirely. To come out, you're going to pull the leg that's bent, that heel, into your bum. So you can sit back onto that heel kind of, so you can do a little bit of adjusting. Now from there, we're gonna pull the leg that was bent now in front of us, so the heel is in our groin. Oh my gosh, I'm out of breath. And again, if the knee doesn't like being in this position, having the padding under here will be good. Otherwise, move the padding. We're gonna inhale, reach, and twist, and exhale, fold over that straight leg. Try to reach to the other side, the outside of your leg, rather than the inside, so that way you'll get a deeper stretch in the side body. Keep the knee and the glute of the opposite side on the ground, so you're pushing down into the floor with that other side. Tuck your chin, release, and breathe. Inhale. Let me exhale, bring the elbow on the inside of the leg and side bend. This elbow can do this position or this position, where it feels best for you, but I'm pushing into the elbow against my leg to help me activate my shoulders and open the chest even more. Toe points or flex, whatever you want. Bring it up. Well done. We're gonna turn over the right or the front leg and do one more pigeon if that feels all right. If you don't feel like pigeoning, take the foot, cross it over, come into a reclined or a seated figure four. Otherwise, you are pigeoning one more time. We're gonna come straight down over the leg this time. Drop the forehead, breathe. Bring yourself up. If it feels all right now, you're gonna pick up the leg on the back. Try to use the glute to lift it, and you're gonna grab it. Bring your palm, thumb up, like we did at the beginning. Okay, you're just bringing your foot to the wrist, so I'm not holding my foot. Now I'm gonna push into my foot, but also push my foot into my arm, so there's resistance there, basically just resisting each other, and you're gonna look the other way as you keep the arms straight and find that resistance. Spread your fingers, flex your hand open, you'll get a deeper stretch. And then if you feel all right, you're gonna now pull the toe in deeper. If you can, as deep as you can go, and you can even flip the palm so that you're pushing down against your foot. I am using this bottom hand as well to help support me, but I'm trying to leave the lion's share of the weight in my legs, so that way I'm still stretching the butt cheek on the front at the same time. Gently release the foot without it flying backwards. So control it, squeeze your butt, and release. Well done. We're gonna come forward, shake out that knee, and we will set up our frog, half frog on the other leg. So you're gonna fold the mat again if you need it. As many times as you require to have the padding you need. Do my quadruple fold again. Remember, your knees are in line with your hips. The leg that's bent in that 90 degree, you should be able to see your foot because your foot's so flexed out to the side, toes pointed out. And your straight leg, you're flexing the quad, so that way you're protecting your knee and your inner thigh joints. Hands or elbows, you choose. Find that place, and now we're gonna tuck and tilt. Tuck and tilt. Focus on your back muscles, rounding and arching as well, so that way your spine is helping your hips move, because I realize it doesn't really want to move in this position. Okay, you're flexing the thigh of the straight leg, remember, the whole time. As I tuck and tilt, sometimes my toe comes off of the straight leg, and that's fine, but you want to try to resist the toe lifting, because that will get you deeper into the hip. Hold and tuck under, hold and squeeze the legs together now. We're gonna hold for 10, 9, 8, you're trying to clamp those legs closed, 6, 5, 4, 3, flex the leg that's straight, 2, release the squeezing together, slide deeper or hold the position, just breathe. But keep flexing the thigh of the straight leg. That's crucial during these poses. Protect your knee by flexing your thigh. More breathing. To dismount, we're gonna pull the toe in and push back into it. Let's call it demi-split type. And then however you need, you can bring the bent leg around the front. so the heel pulls into the groin. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist and fold into that straight leg, reaching across the leg to help you get deeper. Push the knee and hip of the opposite leg to the floor so everything is still grounded. On the other side, tuck your chin and breathe. Bring your arm into the leg, opposite arm comes into that side bend. Your bent elbow the hand can point either direction, whatever feels best, but you're pushing into the leg with this elbow to help you bring the shoulder forward and drop the other one back. So it's going to help you get deeper into your side bend. You help yourself with that bottom arm. Beautiful, let's bring it up. And then we're going to turn over and do our pigeon again. So again, if you don't want pigeon, cross it over, pull the heel up and work on a recline or a seated, figure four. Otherwise, you are turning into your pigeon, flexing the foot of that front leg, squaring your hips, back leg is completely square to the ground, so all 5 toes touching on the floor, and you're folding over. And here we're going to rise up. If it feels okay, you're going to pick up your back foot. You're going to reach back with the hand, palm is facing out, thumb is up. And you're trying to put your foot at your wrist or like on your forearm. So that way you can flex your hand open and look the other way as you push into the foot and push your foot into your arm. So find that resistance as you flex the palm open. And if it feels okay, you're going to pull the foot in deeper with that hand and just try to find the deepest quad stretch you can get. So wherever you are for this stretch, it's perfectly fine. Try to keep your chest lifted rather than leaning too far forward. Right? It's about finding that in between where you're maintaining your form. Don't let your foot snap back. Release it gently. Come on out. Shake it out. And one last sip of water before we finish with our 3 sets of splits. Great job, my loves. Time is so good. Oh Lord, my computer is at 8%. I still have 12 minutes. I'm going to turn my screen brightness down so my computer doesn't die before we're done. All right, should be fine. All right, loves. We're going to start with our middles because nobody likes to do middle splits. Including me, I hate them. So you have the option of doing a frog with both knees bent or a full middle. So if you're doing a frog, you're welcome to do another fold, and now your knees are bent, your knees are at a 40 or at a 90-degree angle, your legs, feet are flexed out to the side, and you're holding this position and you'll follow my cues from here. If you're not, you can come into full straight leg. You'll notice I'm going to lean against the wall with my butt to support me, so that way I don't have to worry about falling back and forth. I only have to worry about the fact that my legs are opening up and my inner thighs are screaming. So that's always something you can do as well to have that assistance. Otherwise, stay in the half frog. Don't feel like you have to push yourself too hard. If you're not feeling the stretch, especially if your inner thighs are already like, dude, I'm really sore, then I would definitely suggest half frog, or frog, words. From here, if you're in your full middles, you're going to start sliding it out. My butt's sliding down the wall again to make sure I stay in alignment, and then I push into my elbows to keep my ass there. You're going to meet me in your frog or here when you're ready. And you're going to find that place where you're like, okay, I'm cool. And then you're going to inhale and then you're going to exhale and close your legs. Try to clamp them closed against the ground. We're holding for 10, 9, 8, 7. Try to tuck your pelvis under here, please. Rounding your back ever so gently. Now release the squeezing and allow yourself to slide deeper into the stretch. Or if you need to, come out and come back in. That's cool too. Okay, I've collapsed onto my chest. because I can, but maintain your flat back as much as possible. Allow yourself to slide, squeeze your thighs, flex your knees the whole time. So especially if your legs are straight. We have 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2. Now either army crawl forward, or if you're straight-legged and you're low enough, you can scoop your toes forward. Okay, otherwise you're army crawling onto your belly and you're wiggling into out of it. So take your time to come out of your split and bring yourself in. Okay? From here, we're gonna readjust our mat and we're gonna make our way into our last split sequence. So our front splits on both sides. I can't speak at this point, apologies. So you're gonna start with your non-dominant side. Whichever split is tighter, I want that leg forward first. Okay, so for myself, my tighter leg is my left leg forward, so I'm gonna start with left leg forward. What is for you is perfectly fine. So first we're in a low kneeling lunge. Just press the hips forward for a second. Inhale, exhale, try to close your legs together against the ground for a few deep breaths. And then release that squeeze, sink in a little more. Beautiful. We're gonna hinge back, flex our front foot, lift our chest. So back is flat here. I'm not looking for the floor. I'm looking for a flat back. Lift your tailbone, squeeze your shoulder blades, boobs forward. You're losing everything about your stretch when you round your back just to get to the floor. So find blocks or something and flatten your back or support yourself on your leg. Try to push the back of the knee to the ground for one more deep breath. Now we're gonna walk, wiggle forward, hands come in, walk or slide your front foot off into your, whatever your split is, or hold that lunge or that hamstring stretch we just did, one of those last 2 movements. Now you're gonna inhale, and on your exhale, close your legs against the ground, hold 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and release, holding the position and breathing. Squeeze the butt cheek in the back leg if you would like, and the thigh of the front leg still to help you get deeper, but don't try to continuously clamp the legs closed because then you're defeating the purpose of trying to sink down. But the reason we do the squeeze and release is to really prime the muscles to allow us to sink in safely, because we're using dynamic and active exercises to stretch safely. You're gonna come out of it however your body wants to come out. You're gonna wiggle it out for a minute while I just make sure that my computer is not gonna crap out on us. So we're gonna still got time, and we're gonna switch legs. I just got a notification that said you are at critical low power, but it still says I have 10 minutes of time, and we have not that much stretching to do, so we'll be okay. So now it's the other leg forward, my lovelies. And we're gonna come into a little lunge. So tuck the pelvis, press forward as much as you can, finding your breath, and clamp those legs close together for a few deep breaths for me, breathing through it. Keep the chest lifted, shoulders down, always thinking about the posture in the upper body as being just as important as the posture in the lower body, especially when we're working full body stretches like our splits. Let's shift back, hips over the knee, balance on your thigh, lift your tailbone, shoulders down away from the ears, chest pressing forward. Flex the thigh on this knee and press the back of the knee to the floor to help you release into that hamstring. Good. Now from here, we're gonna inhale, walk it forward, wiggle our way off the mat, or come into one of those 2 stretches that we just did to help you work those groups. Try to keep your hips square, and inhale. Exhale, close those legs against the ground. We're holding 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and release and sink into that stretch. Again, try to stay square in your chest and your hips. So pull the back hip forward. As much as it wants to open, keep trying to pull everything forward and across the front leg. Couple more deep breaths. Remember, you can squeeze the butt cheek of the back leg and the thigh of the front leg continuously to help you get deeper. But don't continuously clamp your legs because you will be resisting the drop. Finding your way out of the stretch however your body wants to, my loves. Shake it out, take your hands behind you. Pull your heels in and just do a quick little windshield wiper. As much, as slowly, as depth you want. Don't go too much if you're not feeling it. All right. Excuse me. Legs forward and together. One last stretch. Inhale and exhale, fold. Tuck your chin, relax the shoulders away from your ears. Slowly roll it up, one vertebrae at a time. And if you'd like, we can do also a quick little neck stretch because now I realize we did a lot of downward dogs. So if we feel any tension, feel free to also do some additional arm stretches when you sign off for the night. Great job, guys. How do we feel?